It's now my honor to introduce our two student speakers this morning, Mary Jo Rice, who will speak on where we have been, and Matt Tiberi, who will speak on who we are. Mary Jo.
Good morning, everyone. I remember my first time going to Hershey Park. Before I entered, I saw the measuring tool used to tell me what roller coasters I was allowed to go on based on my height. In Hershey Park, there are different levels. There are the Little Kisses, the Reese's, Hershey's, Twizzlers, and the mighty Jolly Ranchers. When I walked in, I was overwhelmed and thrilled at the same time. I was at the smallest level, which was the Little Kiss. I saw a lot of big roller coasters that I was too little and too scared to go on. But then I saw what was to be my first ride, the flying planes. The flying planes were like the kindergarten of the park, where all the little kids were. Although most people know that 8th grade is the year of Hershey Park, they may not know that the whole school career is also like Hershey Park. The first 2 years after kindergarten were filled with many good times and a few bad ones. I especially loved my 2nd grade play that my teacher, Miss Lewis, wrote. But the good times stopped and the bad times started in 3rd grade during 9/11. I remember going to school that morning excited because my birthday was just 3 days away. About halfway through the school day, my teacher, Miss Barnes, told our class that planes had crashed into a building. Although we asked her more questions, she just told us to ask our parents what happened when we got home. I could tell that she was trying to keep the fear out of her voice. After the terrible tragedy of 9/11, we moved on so that we were at the top of the lower school. At the time of 4th grade, I was probably a Reese's at Hershey Park. A Reese's is made of peanut butter and chocolate. The peanut butter is hidden behind the chocolate, but if you dig deep enough, it's sweet. We took our inside graduation in 4th grade, and though it looked plain, like the chocolate, we uncovered the peanut butter, or the sweetness, when we threw our blazers into the basketball hoop at the end. When you're a Reese's at Hershey Park, you can go on things like the Super Duper Looper, which is more fun but bigger than the rides that I was used to. School was the same way as the teachers prepared us for middle school. At the end of 4th grade, we were looking up at the bigger rides of the park that were to be middle school. 5th grade was like waiting in line for a ride. We were all scared but knew it was going to be fun. We had survived 5th grade and were moving on to 6th grade where we were Hershey bars. My favorite part of 6th grade was Mr. Skokas's battle game. Battle was a game with teams, and one person from each team would be up at a time. Then Mr. Skokas would point to a country in the world, and whichever person from the team said it first would win that round. Battle reminded me a lot of bumper cars. In bumper cars, you go around hitting people with your own car before they hit you. But even getting bumped around during bumper cars couldn't prepare us for Sidewinder. Sidewinder is a roller coaster that starts out going forward, but then ends up going backwards. 7th grade was like no other grade we had been in yet, just like Sidewinder is like no other roller coaster. There were some things that I didn't think I would end up doing, like the 30-hour fast. Just like on Sidewinder, I never thought I would do a backwards corkscrew. But the Sidewinder was nothing compared to 8th grade, or the Great Bear. If you have ever been to Hershey Park, you might remember the Great Bear because of the noise it makes as it thunders around the park. Well, that's what our 8th grade is like, making noise and thundering around the school. On the Great Bear, there are many corkscrews and twists and turns and loops, but it's all fun, just like the 8th grade. We started the year with the Bay Trip, followed by the ski trip, with field trips, concerts, and dances all sprinkled in between. But we can't forget exam week, when we had our foreign language travel project due, the 2-day world cruise, frog dissection, grammar mastery, 2-day foreign language exam, physics placement test, and math placement exam, all in 2 weeks. When all of this was over, everyone was relieved. It was like going down a huge water slide with a big splash at the end. I think we'll all have to get used to exam week for high school when we go on Storm Runner. Because on Storm Runner, you go from 0 to 80 in 2.5 seconds, having fun all the way. We've gotten through the challenges of the park, and we'll have it conquered by upper school. But from the flying planes to the Great Bear, we truly have become a McDonough family. Congratulations, class of 2011. We're moving on to upper school.